Hello, folks. Slightly Slanted Sleuth. I'm sitting here reading the Google feed, and voila, bada bing, bada boom. We've got some coneheads. In the ancient past, researchers have long speculated about the purpose and meaning of pointy head cones depicted in Egyptian art. Now they've actually found the real thing. See the cones on top of their heads. You know, the Conehead movie. Eh, narful the garflunk. But look at their hands. You see, they're praying. Except for one's working a flute or something. The rest of them are praying. Excuse me. Women in a 3,300-year-old banquet scene are depicted wearing cone-shaped objects atop their heads. Ancient Egyptian art is filled with images of reverent revelers with pointy cones on their heads. Men and women are shown with head cones in artistic depictions on everything from papyrus scrolls to coffins, donning the pointed objects as they take part in royal feasts and divine rituals. Women who wear the cones are sometimes also portrayed in childbirth, an activity associated with certain gods. Could that be the birth of the only begotten within our heads? You know, that's what the process is. But while the head cones were relatively common in Egyptian art for more than 1,000 years, their purpose and existence has remained a mystery. No archaeologist had ever excavated one of the enigmatic objects, leading some scholars to think of Egyptian head cones as merely symbolic representations, the equivalent of the halos that appear on saints and angels in Christian iconography. See, they almost get there, but they just stop short, you know. Now it appears that an international team of archaeologists have indeed found the first physical evidence of the elusive head accessories. And they were looking in non-elite cemeteries. It was obviously very, very different, not something we'd seen in any burials before, Stevens said, but the pointy object was very similar to the odd head decoration in Egyptian art that some scholars had dismissed as a piece of artistic folly. Another adult burial, which couldn't be identified as male or female, turned up an additional head cone. And then they said that it could be, you know, fragranced hair gel or something. But no, the findings from Amarna seem to negate the ancient styling product theory. The cones weren't solid. They were hollow shells folded around brown-black organic matter the team thinks may be fabric. Both head cones had chemical signatures of decayed wax. The team concluded they were made of beeswax, the only biological wax known to be used by ancient Egyptians. Furthermore, no traces of wax were found in the hair of most well-preserved skeleton. Given artistic associations of the objects with childbirth and the fact that at least one of the specimens was an adult woman, the team suggests the cones had something to do with fertility. But the fact that they were found in non-elite cemeteries makes it difficult to interpret the meaning behind them. It's symbolic of the light being born in our head, folks. That's what it's about. You know, through the heart, into the head. In Egyptian iconography, the people depicted wearing the head cones were mostly elite, though some seem to have been servants, says Nicola Harrington, an archaeologist of Sydney. The Amarna tombs have less artwork than other burial sites, but a handful of images show people wearing the cones as they prepare for burials and make offerings. Essentially, the cones are worn in the presence of the divine, she says. Harrington has her own theory for the identities of the cone-wearing women. Perhaps they were dancers. Both specimens had spinal fractures, and one had a degenerative joint disease. Though bone problems could be chalked up to stressful lives and the intense labor of non-elite Egyptians, Harrington points out that stress and compression fractures are common among professional dancers. Perhaps the cones marked as members of the community that served the gods, she says. That could explain why these people were buried with the cones, Harrington suggests, despite their basic burials. Without more archaeological evidence, though, there's no way to know how the cones were really used, or if they were used more widely. Unfortunately, says Stevens, we may never find out. Well, I think I've found it. And I think it's to do with, Phil says that it feels like your head is elongated. And I think, Yvonne even said the same thing. And I think that's what the Caracas skulls are, the elongated skulls. I think ancient people wrap their head to emulate that in which the way you felt when you were illuminated. Like your brain was attached to the cosmic brain. I don't know. I just thought I'd share that. Thanks, guys. Love, peace, and grease. Peace out.